Okay, so what's up, cuties and cubettes? I don't know. I guess you guys can be cubes. That's actually pretty convenient since it's Minecraft. Cubes and cubettes. Okay, that's only for today though. We're not making that a thing. No goddamn way. Anyway, so this video is gonna be a tour of everything that I have built in my Minecraft server, mc.linkuru.com. Just to clarify, this server is only for Twitch subs, but you only have to be a Twitch sub once, and if you unsub, you still get to play here. So yeah, it's like a one-time payment, basically. But I don't know if you can hear the outside, but there's like a train going outside and shit. So hopefully it's not hopefully it's not too bad. Anyway, so like I said, this video is gonna be me touring through all my builds on this server. I believe there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe 7 builds on this server that I have personally done. Actually 8. So I'm gonna go through all 8 of those. For starters, number 1 is the spawn area, or what I like to call the spawn town. If you look at the signs at the front and the back, it says Urukru spawn town. That's the north gate, and that's the south gate, as you can see. So I'm gonna give you a quick overview of this. I'll sort of explain my idea and inspiration behind a lot of these builds, and maybe a little bit of like my building philosophy and like style and why I go for certain decisions, and maybe I can also share some tips along the way. But okay, we can start off by entering the town from the north. I just heard a zombie. I don't know why, but whatever. So let's talk about the entrances. So for me, I figured since this is like the base of the world, this is where everyone begins, I should make it pretty big and grand, right? Like I need to make it somehow memorable, right? So I tried to make something cool, and because since the beginning I really wanted to have some sort of a wood style, like a wooden border. As you can see, a lot of the border of this is like weird. It doesn't really necessarily have a very, I don't know, consistent form, but it does follow a certain style. I like to think of it like trees just like stuck into the ground and then stuff built around it. Like when I'm building, I usually tend to think of it like as if it's some sort of natural, I don't know, I like to think of things in real life. Like if real human beings had to build something in real life, how would it form? Like I don't want to build something in a way that looks like it couldn't be made by humans, you know? So I sort of try to build things in a way that looks natural, you know, if that makes sense. So yeah, so the entrances, I just wanted them to make, oh, that sentence didn't make any sense. I wanted to make them sort of really high, but like, I don't know, it just looks cool to me, that's all. That's all there really is to it. It doesn't really matter. The front, this side is a slightly different design, but I think it's cool regardless. It almost looks like some sort of a crab. But yeah, it's still a very big entrance, and just it has sort of this wavy but pointy thing going on here. Yeah, I guess the style sort of resembles some sort of like barbarian town, if you think of like RuneScape, Barbarian Village, or whatever, it has kind of a similar vibe to that. Like Vikings could be living in this town, some shit like that. I'm not really sure. I didn't really have a specific idea in mind, but something to that effect. So yeah, the rest of the spawn, basically, when I started, I was like, okay, I want to make some sort of a path that's going this way and this way from the beginning point. And I did that, and then I kind of started building everything around it. I just wanted to give this like feel of like a central hub, if that makes sense. Like a video game hub. So I scattered a bunch of stuff, like useful stuff around the spawn. So this is the actually, this is where you spawn. If you go this way, there's a shop over here, where you can buy all kinds of stuff from. You can sell gold or diamonds, and then buy stuff. There's also a downstairs. I wanted to make it very compact and small, basically wasting absolutely no space so that it's easy to understand. And I feel like I try to copy a lot of like actual video game design philosophy when I make the stuff in Minecraft, because at the end of the day this is a video game, and it makes sense to sort of design it as if it is a video game. So yeah, I tend to try to make things easy to understand, easy to read. I use color coding a lot to make things, just understandable. Yeah, so you go downstairs, there's this cool like rainbow floor and just some more rare stuff to buy. So yeah, that's cool. I'm pretty happy about this. I think we do need to expand the shop a little bit because it doesn't really have as much stuff as it could. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, so okay, so cool. What else is there? When it comes to useful things, well, if you go from the spawn here, there's teleports, or portals rather, which take you to different cool places. I can quickly demonstrate. Actually, to be fair, I think I already cover a lot of these things in my server introduction video, so I'm probably not gonna like cover every little thing. I think if you watch that video, you'll get a pretty decent idea of what's going on in the spawn. So actually, we'll leave that there. Anything else? Like, I remember playing RuneScape when I was younger, and they were like what do you call them? Like fencings with cows and pigs and stuff inside them. Or maybe not pigs, but other animals, chickens and stuff. And I kind of wanted to do that here. So like when you're just walking past here, there's this like little area for cows and stuff. I've actually just realized that there's barely any animals here. I'm not sure why. I think a lot of them died, so I need to reproduce them again. But anyway, so that's that. I also wanted to put this cute campfire here just to give it a nice vibe. I have my own house here, Linkuru's house. Doesn't really serve any purpose, but I just made it. I just think it's kind of cute, I try to put good effort into, house decoration. It's just very nice, to put flower pots and certain things to decorate the house. Chests and different objects. I have I don't know, it's hard for me to explain any little details. I kind of just go with the flow and try different things. I really like the contrast of this wood and this green. The green really pops out from the low saturation, gray wood. I love colors, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. colors and using colors to contrast between each other. So that's something I try to do because I'm also a designer. I do a lot of graphic design, and colors and all that stuff is really important in that as well. So yeah, that's that. I also think one trick that's cool to mess with is levels. So having, like, you could make a totally flat floor, but that would be boring, right? It's much more exciting to sort of have these different levels, like this edge here that's higher than the bottom floor, and not only that, there's this extra level that's under the glass. It sort of adds this more 3D feel to everything. And I also have this fencing up here. It sort of breaks apart the flatness of the ceiling, because without these fences here, the ceiling would be entirely flat. But because I have this fencing here, it sort of breaks up the flatness of it. It makes you not realize that it's flat. It's kind of like a distraction. It's kind of like a design philosophy in video games as well, when it comes to level design. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. Like, here's another example of it. So this back wall could be entirely flat, but you know what? Why make things flat when you can add this sort of 3D feel to it, you know? Like, stuff that comes out of the wall. So, so I have the crosshair here. This is a good way to show it, I guess. So, 3D is not the right word. I'm talking about depth. I think depth is a really good thing to mess with. So, as you can see, let's point out all the objects here that add depth to this wall. So the torch, obviously, it adds like a object that sticks out of the wall, so it gives it depth. The fact that you can see through these leaves, it adds a little bit of depth because you can see through that, so you can see into the magical world outside. That gives you more depth. Another thing is, obviously these stairs here, or this whatever block area this is that sticks out. But not only that, we have these trapdoors here, which adds another little, level of depth because it comes out slightly more than a stair. This adds depth because it's an object within, this corner. And that's another thing as well that you hear a lot in game design or level design in video games is like breaking up corners, when you see corners that are blatantly obvious. Do I have any examples of that? I don't know if I leave a lot of corners open. I think I'm really good on that design philosophy. Well, anyway, you get the idea. So, there's a corner here, right? But when you put stuff inside of a corner, it makes the corner feel less sharp, Does that make sense? Like, because otherwise this would be a straight line from this point to this point. It would just be a straight, sharp corner. But instead, now we have other objects that are in between that area. So it makes that sharp line feel less sharp because there's stuff sort of giving it a softening feeling. What the hell is that? Oh, here's actually a corner. That feels very sharp, doesn't it? I don't know if it is so obvious to you, but like you can put stuff in corners to make it feel more soft or less sort of violent to your eyes. Yeah, so I do that a lot. I think decoration is a great way to remove that hard edge feel of things, because when you have you would have a flat wall here too, but because we have all these objects here that stick out of the wall, it gives you such a different feeling of different levels and depth and 3D and all the good stuff. I don't know why I'm going so deep into this, but this is kind of like a topic that's really dear and close to my heart, that I really am obsessed with. I really like to think about or level design. When I build in Minecraft, I'm not just senselessly placing blocks everywhere and just praying that it looks good in the end. I kind of have certain philosophies, like I've just explained, that I use to make things look nice. Of course, not everything is just purely logically thought out. A lot of the stuff I do is just me trying to do different things and then slowly, figuring it out. This room is pretty boring, but it doesn't really serve any purpose anyway. Okay, what else can we talk about? This room is interesting. Actually, you know what? I kinda don't want to talk about the spawn anymore. Besides maybe this staircase down here. I like this one too because, I don't know, this is another fun trick of playing with levels. So, as you can see, that level there is, well, it's slightly lower than this level, but it's a level on its own anyway. And this staircase just goes down, right? But this level on the right side and the left side, they're sort of like on par with each other, right? But this thing just goes down here. I don't know why, but that just seems so cool to me when something sort of, I don't know, like breaks up from the rule. Because again, this could be a flat floor where all this, like literally I would be walking on this level, just walking on the same stone and stuff, but by adding like lateral depth, you make things a lot more interesting. So yeah, I don't know, I hope what I'm saying makes sense. One thing that really bugs me is that I have a lot of I think smart ideas in my head, like design ideas that I can use to my advantage, but I think because English isn't my first language and I'm not very good at explaining certain things in a smart and concise way, I tend to often ramble and not be able to explain it in a smart way. So, but anyway, I think we can leave the spawn town. Let's go to the next thing that I've built, which is actually right next to the spawn. So, it's this building, or this double building right here. So, anytime I build anything in Minecraft, I tend to sort of throw out any idea of what I've done in the past and just try something new and different. I kinda don't like sticking to one style and just repeating it over and over again. And while it uses the same materials as the spawn area, I feel like the overall style of it is slightly different from what I was doing here. You may disagree, but I would say that it's quite different in a lot of ways. It's very random, and it might, I don't know, it's not necessarily my proudest build, but I quite like it overall, to be fair. It has a very cozy feel, I think. I probably won't talk too much about this one. I actually really like this element here. I entirely forgot about it, but it's like, it consists of like this arrow blue glass and then this purple glass here. And I believe that's a redstone block with water surrounding it. And we have a, what is that? Is that I think that's dark oak log, and that's, I don't know, oak logs sideways. Overall, again, this is a trick with depth that I think is really cool because you can see through the water just slightly. So it gives this redstone block a very 3D feel. And, I don't know, I just think it's kind of cool and abstract, but very interesting. I like to play around with floor designs a lot, so I don't like to make repetitive floor designs a lot. Like, as you can see, this whole building has just no repetition on the floor, like, whatsoever. Actually, now that I think about it, I kind of don't like how this is a different wood here, so I'm gonna fix that. Just not a big fan of that, honestly. I like this one a lot better. So yeah, as I was saying, so there's a lot of inconsistency, I guess you could say. This is like one section, and then there's this section, and yeah, don't have much more to say about that, but yeah, we can go outside now. The other building is this one. I call it the supply depot. I think I was playing in survival and using this a lot, but it doesn't have much of a purpose, to be fair. I have these beds that are carved into the floor, which are kind of like, feel like mattresses, or like, not mattresses, but like a sleeping bag kind of thing. So I built up this bridge between the two buildings so I can get back into this one if I want to. This room isn't really finished. I haven't really bothered finishing it. But yeah, I don't have much more to say about it. Let me know if you like these builds. But yeah, so let's move on to the next one. Let me think what the next one is. Okay, so let's go along this path. We're gonna find... I'm actually not gonna like teleport to it or skip to it. I think it's more fun if we just like travel to it the way it was meant to be traveled to. Actually, we have to go this way for it. So, this next build is going to be... Oh, actually, I almost forgot about this one. I was gonna go there, but I just remembered I have this one. I think this was my first house on the server, and I think it's absolutely hideous, to be fair. But it's not hideous enough for me to want to delete it. It's just not the prettiest thing of all time. Oh, also, this thing was built by me as well. This little area here, which comes along from this path. I wanted to try something with like a custom tree. So I made a custom tree here, and I built this little staircase and path area, circular area around it, just to give it, you know, maybe like a town square feeling, or like a divider area. So yeah, there's this tree just stuck to the ground, and I quite like it, to be fair. It's very simple, but it's nice. So this house, I'm not even gonna comment on it because it's just not that, you know, impressive or anything. So let's go along this path. So this build is going to be a dock, I guess. I feel like I should go this way for it. So I'd say this was actually one of my proudest builds. I think it's quite nice. I'm proud of it. But yeah, I'm gonna skip a little bit. So this one, I started by building this house. It's like, okay, Jesus Christ, I just fell down. Okay, so I actually have modified this house a lot since its beginning. It used to have like a helicopter sort of propeller at the top, and I thought it looked so silly that I got rid of it, and now there's just this weird thing like sticking out of it. Yeah, I don't know why I put so many Finnish flags everywhere, but that's that. I have a locale thing here. Okay, so let's just enter the area. So this is the house, and this is the port. I think it got Lincoln Port is what I call it. Let's actually enter the port first because this is like the main area of it. So I wanted it to sort of look like it's infested by traders and people just putting like their loot and boxes and like all this stuff down and trying to trade people at the port. So that's kind of the feel I wanted to create here. So you kind of have these posts. And I just imagine, like, what would it be like in real life? So people would come in here with boats and ships, and they would want to, attach their boat here and leave it here, and then they'd get up the side, boom, they're like, hey, how you doing, buddy? Yo, nice gold armor, bro, can I buy this? I got 50 diamond for that, so let's make some business. So yeah, that's kind of the idea here. I also like this area a lot, so you can go up here. You can also go down here on the ladder, but this is sort of, I don't really know, but it gives me like a train station feeling for some reason. Like I'm looking down from here. I guess regular visitors could have their coffee here and just chill. I don't know, just random stuff. I like this little path here. I also made some floating islands because some people on the server made these other floating islands that are much bigger and higher in the sky. But I figured it wasn't interesting enough of an idea that I should, to some extent, spread that. Because if there's gonna be big islands over there that are being pushed out of the ground, then there must be some sort of weird extraterrestrial phenomenon going on in this area of the world that makes floor just suddenly go out and go up in the sky. So I was like, okay, maybe that effect is happening here, but just in a more subtle way. So this island right here has just begun coming up out of the ground, and these smaller ones here are just slightly coming out of the ground. And I built this little fencing around it as if to signify that, people are aware that this is happening, and they're sort of putting protective measures around it to make sure people don't fall into the hole, and that they are not harmed in any way. So that's that. I actually want to go into this house because I really like the interior design here. So this is very unique and strange, but I really like the idea of pressure plates on top of fences here. It just kind of gave a cool feel for the edges of this. It's another trick of depth because the pressure plates are slightly higher than the rest of the blocks on that level, so it gives a nice feeling of depth. A nice thing I like to do is sort of this spiral effect of 2 blocks this way, 2 blocks that way, 2 blocks this way, 2 blocks that way, and then a central block there. Yeah, so it's pretty nice. It goes pretty high up, and it just feels like it's a very open space because it has a lot of room above you. Here, another cool trick with water is this little lane on both sides that I think is kind of a cute effect. And the blue water also gives a nice coloring to the interior as well. So yeah, the cow thing here actually puts leather and steak into the box automatically. So that's a neat little design as well. Okay, let's move on to the next build. Right after this bridge, of course. I'm a big fan of this bridge. In fact, I'm a big fan of bridge designs altogether. I like to work on bridges a lot. I like to do borders a lot, so obviously this is the main wooden floor of the bridge, but then it has this stone brick edge, which also has a lot of depth added into it because, every now and then it protrudes upwards from there, and it has this upper level, what do you call this, balcony kind of thing that you can look out from, which is kind of nice as well. And then it also goes half a block down here. Actually, that's quarter of a block, not half. or not even a quarter, because these trapdoors give it like a tiny little level above as well. But these are all decorative, you're not meant to actually open them. So yeah, and you can see downwards as well, which, like, I keep talking about these tricks to add depth to your builds, but I just can't, like, I can't stress it enough. It's like a really nice way to make your builds look nicer. Just different levels of depth. Yeah, so that's that. Wait, why is this open? That's not supposed to be open. Okay, so that's that. It's not necessarily the best. It's not necessarily the best bridge design, but I like it. I think it's pretty cool. This house here is not mine, but whoever built it is an absolute legend. I absolutely love it. I built this path, and I can't remember if I built the lights. I think I did, but it also might have been the guy who made that house. So don't count me on it. But yeah, let's go along this path, because then at the end of it we're gonna find another build of mine, which is actually, I'd say, the biggest build that I've done so far. Whoever added these trees here, thank you very much. This actually makes it look very nice, this whole area. I noticed that there was this ground, and I wanted to make some sort of a bridge come outside of this little hill. So I think this cave actually existed here, so I was like, you know what, let's make like a path. Let's make this path continue through the cave. And so yeah, it goes two ways. I don't know why this hole is here. Okay, I can't do that right now. So yeah, I made this little bridge here, which goes into this cave. There's no really any purpose to this. But yeah, there's another bridge this way, which you'll see right now. So another thing I'm a big fan of is making curved bridges. So I think I did a pretty good job at this. I think that's a pretty nice smooth curve. And yeah, I like to do that a lot. So yeah, so I just do a lot of curved bridges. The same thing is here. I actually copied this bridge from that one. Yeah, okay, so if we go along this bridge, we get to my city, before we get to the city, actually, let's point out this bridge as well. I think this is my favorite bridge I've ever built. It's very simple, but I feel like it's very powerful at the same time, because of how it's curved on, like, in terms of height. It goes down and then it goes up again. It almost feels, you know what, I'm really annoyed by this weather right now. Wait, how do I? Okay, there we go. So, it almost feels like it's sort of like a hanging bridge. It almost like it's not entirely solid. It's almost like it's made out of planks, and it's being hung by gravity. But I mean, technically it isn't, because, well, I mean, it could be. I mean, use your imagination. Do whatever you want with it. But yeah, I really like this idea of, like, the edge, or the, how should I say, I can't think of the word right now, but the fence of the bridge. I like the idea that it starts higher and then it starts coming down and gets closer and closer to the actual bridge level, and then it goes up again a little bit, but then it ends here. I don't know, I just really fucking love this design. I'm sorry for swearing, by the way. But I just really like this a lot. So yeah, so this is a part of the bridge. I don't know why I left that there, but I just sort of built it here to have a reference of what it looks like. But yeah, so in a weird way, I wanted this city to sort of symbolize some sort of a like a forbidden town, something a little bit ancient, but kind of taking inspiration from maybe like an Indian or Arabic, like ancient architecture. I really like the use of this slightly pinkish material. I don't actually remember what material this is. It's yeah, white terracotta. So it's slightly pinkish. It's like this nice color. I don't know why, but I really wanted to build something with it. So I started doing these very rectangular sections that sort of come outside of each other, if that makes sense. Like, so there's this block here, but then this block comes out of it, and then there's that block coming out of the bigger block. And yeah, you're gonna see how I use that design idea a lot here. I also figured that this, what is this, polished granite, is a good contrast to that white terracotta. So yeah, let's actually go up these stairs, and I'll show you a little bit of the interior design here. Not much to talk about here, but a checkerboard ceiling, and yeah, just messing around with different materials, trying to see what works, what looks good together, what colors are nice together, and stuff like that. So we go upstairs here. We got a little tower sticking out from the ground, another little tower area here. Not much inside, really. This kind of borrows the idea of the spawn town a little bit. You know, an archway. We can go here, go down the stairs. So, as you can, oh man, I just really like this. I don't know where to start explaining. Here's another example of that design philosophy. So we have like a big block, then this block coming out of it, that little thing coming out of it. We have this sort of balcony area coming out of it. So as you can see, it's just like blocks inside blocks. And I just really like this style. It's very simple, but yet effective. And I like to draw these like symbols on the sides of these to give it, I guess, a less flat effect, because otherwise it would just be white terracotta and it kind of looks boring. So I like to add these like weird sort of caveman kind of symbols, and I think it looks like nice. This one again, so this could look like a very flat terracotta wall, but I wanted to give it this like sort of stair. What material is this? Light gray terracotta. So I thought that was a nice effect to it as well. I use it here the same way. I quite like this staircase here as well. It has very... Oh, what the heck? What's up with this? Oh, Christ. I just entirely ruined that. Let me fix that real quick. Oh, god damn it, I'm an actual idiot. Anyway. So, yeah. I kind of want it like that. So... I don't know, I feel like this could be in a Zelda game or something. It just has this very nice and kind of cozy feel to it. Yeah. So that's that. What else? What else do we got here? Let's go up these stairs, actually. Yep. Okay. So, another nice little hanging out area. I wanted to add some trees here just to break up the repetitiveness of the cubic rectangle effect. I guess the moral of the story is that just because something is sort of simple does not mean that it can be a good, I guess, fundamental or principle for design. So even though I've gone with a very rectangular, simplistic style, I'm still using different tricks to make it not simplistic, you know? So, I guess a lot of people might think, yo, complexity is all there is to design. Like, I know a lot of people always just straight out the gate, they just try to make something complicated because they think that that's the only way to make something look impressive or cool or interesting. They think that, oh, if I make something rectangular or very simple, that's not gonna look interesting. But the truth of the matter is that by, like, I guess what I'm saying is you can decorate a simplistic style with different design aspects, as I've done a lot here. Like, I don't actually know what I'm trying to say here, but I guess the corner of this area would look really boring without these trees. Okay, so this is like, I think this was meant to be some sort of like a church. I'm not sure really. There's not much to it, but yeah. I like doing a lot of like elevation, so I like having balconies that look over areas that are down below, and then there's a staircase going up, and then there's a level above that, and like, just I like to work with levels a lot. As you can see here too, I'm going down. I mean, to be fair, like, the actual naturally generated floor level of Minecraft is rarely ever flat, so I think you should always take advantage of that, because nature is beautiful, you know, natural generation is beautiful, so you should use that to your advantage when you build. I absolutely hate it when people, you know, join my server and they're like, hey, I want to build something, and then they just like carve a flat floor onto the ground, like a really large platform that is just flat, and then they start building on that. Like, it's like they don't realize that having different levels makes stuff so much more interesting and fun. Like, if I tried to make this city entirely flat, it would be so shit, it would be so garbage. But this, like, there's so much different levels here. Like, everywhere it goes down and it goes up, and then it comes up here and it goes up there, and it goes down here, and we're down again and we're going up there and up here. Like, I don't know, I just find it so interesting to have different levels. I made this little monument thing here, just again to break up the pattern of just grass everywhere. Put trees everywhere as well to give it a nice feel. A path going through, and yeah, so that's that. What else? I think one thing that's cool to have in, or I guess a good way to make a city feel very busy, I guess, is by making tight corridors or tight alleyways. So as you can see, this is like 2 or 3 blocks wide space here, and then you go along here, and then this is slightly more open space, but you go here and it's a tight corridor again, and you know, you will run into these a little bit every now and then in this town. And I think it sort of gives the town a little bit of a maze feel. Like, it feels like you're navigating through a maze, or, and I don't know, I guess that just makes it feel like it's a little bit busy, and you may get lost and you're not, I don't know, I think if the area would be more open, you would feel less claustrophobic, and that would, I'm not saying that you should make it feel like uncomfortably tight or anything, but I don't know. I think is like rectangular. I thought it would be funny to try something like bowl-shaped here, just as a to kind of throw you off, but I don't actually think it looks that nice. I would prefer to make that rectangular as well, just like most of this town. Okay, so one thing I wanted to show is, how do I even get to it? I don't even know how to navigate through my own city. Oh yeah, okay, so let's go through here. Oh, actually, this is quite nice. I like this little thing here that transports you from down here to back up here. So we've been here. You saw this archway. I really like this tree that's kind of on the edge of the bridge, because it just makes this feel in like, I don't know how to explain it. It's another like archway, but instead of like a human built archway, it's more natural, because it's a tree. It has like leaves falling down, and it's just a nice thing to have. I think natural archways are a really good thing to mix with human built archways. But yeah, so we go up these staircases, and we have this very interesting situation going on here. I think this kind of, I don't know, I have like a fear of heights in real life, and of course this is a video game, so it doesn't like, I don't fear heights in this, but it sort of gives you that slight simulation of like a fear of heights, because you're sort of in a really high spot, and you can kind of see the outside world, but it's sort of blocked by the fences, and you can sort of see it down below you, but only through these little holes. So it gives this weird triggering feeling of your fear of heights, maybe, if that makes sense. And then you go down here. I like to do cool looking edges and fences around things, especially bridges and stuff. I think just more archways. I've shown so many different archway designs in my builds, but I just think there's something really cool about walking through like a closed off, like a ring, basically. Like this makes a ring, and you walk through it. There's something really satisfying about that to me. And another ring that you walk through here. So another balcony, and I also like the idea of building stuff where you have a nice view of things. So from here we have a very nice view of the surrounding areas, and obviously if we go up here we have nice views of things as well. Walking through this bridge, we have a very nice view of this and these trees and the area below, and just everything looks cool. So go back here, and we got a bit of a spiral staircase situation going around, but it's not so obvious. It's not like a typical spiral staircase, which is just like blocks that, it's not just like blocks. Oh, God damn it, ignore claims. So it's not just blocks going like this in a spiral, You get what I'm saying? It's more subtle than that. So basically it starts from here. You start walking in a spiral line, but it's more fun than that, right? Yeah, I don't know. This is very cool. I like to add stripes to certain things, like walls and stuff, to break up the flatness of stuff. Yeah, I like to put little accents on the edges of things as well, as you can see here. And it matches this color, so it sort of feels consistent with things. In a weird way, it's another satisfying thing when you're like walking through this dark stripe. Like, it really catches your eye. It's the most dominant color, like, in the screen right now. Like, when you're running through it, you can't help but feel like it's scraping, like, the side, or brushing the side of your eye when you're walking past it. And when you go past the first stripes, these ones, you have to go through this one as well. And I don't know, there's just something really satisfying about that to me when I go through this. Like, maybe that probably doesn't make any sense to most of you guys, but I don't know. I feel like what I'm talking about is very human instincts. So hopefully you will be able to understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Anyway, so we go up this. This is pretty interesting. I don't think I've finished this one here. Yeah, clearly I have not. Oh god, there's a lot of mobs here. But just some more cool interior design that I haven't finished. But yeah, that's that. Man, I really need to start speeding this up because I've been recording for a while and I still have a couple builds to go through, man. Jesus Christ. I think it's only 2 more builds, to be fair. Actually, no, it's like 3. God damn it. Okay. Speedrun. Let's go. Speedrun hype. This one is just another elevation thing. Just staircases. Staircases are a very nice way to work with stuff. And again, this was entirely naturally, the levels here were natural. All I did was build a staircase on top of this sort of naturally generated terrain. And of course some of it is modified, like I don't think it was like this sharp corner here, but yeah, so I just work with what I have naturally and build around it. That's a very good way to, I guess, that's a good way to, it's almost like a cheat, I guess, because if you start from a flat ground and then try to come up with a lot of cool designs, it's a lot more a lot more difficult than to just use the terrain that you have. So it kind of makes your life easier, but it also makes your designs a lot cooler and more natural. Okay, let's move on to the next build, which is going to be, I think, it's gonna be my wall. So I built this quite large wall, and you're obviously gonna see it in a second, but yeah, so I like to build paths, so this path was built by me, and I just built it along here, and I figured, well, actually, I'm just gonna run you through it and I'll explain as I'm going. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go. So I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones, and as you know, Game of Thrones has this huge giant wall. Here's another not so obvious spiral staircase going here, that I really like. Yeah, so I think it's cool because it has this little area, balcony where you can look, and then you just keep going up. And this is a pretty long wall. I mean, it's not super long, but it's still pretty massive. But yeah, so I kind of took inspiration from Game of Thrones' wall, but I wanted it to be even kind of cooler in terms of design, because Game of Thrones' wall is very simple and kind of crude and not very nice to look at, I guess. It's just very epic, just very large. Okay, so this is another example of building around the naturally generated terrain. So I believe this block of stone right here actually was there since the beginning. The same thing goes for this block of stone here and this block of stone. It was super random, this was just really strange. It didn't really make sense, but in my mind I was like, so there's this block of stone, this block of stone, and that block of stone, and then this mountain here. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to connect these empty spaces between these stones with a wall? So I started building a wall to connect these naturally generated walls. And yeah, I think I made some really cool stuff. And in the end, I also built a bridge between that little mountain or hill and this mountain hill. And I think this bridge is very cool as well. So that's how it began. That's where we went up, and then we started running through this bridge. It has these interesting leg designs as well. Whenever I build bridges like this, another thing again, like I mentioned, I always try to think of like, is this humanly possible? Like, if real humans built this in real life, I want to actually, obey to the laws of physics, right? So if you're gonna have a massive bridge like this that's made out of wood and stone, it's probably gonna weigh incredibly a lot. Like, this is not gonna be a very light object, so you need very strong legs to hold it up. So basically I tried to build these strong looking supports. Obviously without these middle things it would look very weak. Like, imagine if all that was supporting this bridge was these thin like trees here. It wouldn't look very convincing, but because I added these supports in the middle to kind of give it a feel of like something strong holding it together, I think it looks a lot more convincing now. I also have these interesting like little hubs in between that have like, I guess I sort of imagine that these were some sort of planks or rope or something that's like hanging off from this point to this point, so they're attached from there and there, and they're hanging off there. And so yeah, this little hub area I also like to protrude it downwards. It has these little sideways locks as well. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Another cool thing about this bridge is, so as we were running through here, you can actually turn around here and you have a little compartment area, like a storage area, where I put a bunch of these like crafting tables and chests and workbenches and stuff to make it look like people are busy here. Like, people are here to do work and do stuff and like store items, and just as like it's all decorative, but I'm sort of imagining that everything has a purpose, like as if human beings were living here. So yeah, what about all this stuff? So I think this wall is really cool because of, again, we're playing with a lot of depth and 3D and levels here. So obviously this is a curved, like, round wall here on this part, but then we do something a little bit more rectangular below that, which I think is really cool. Using stone a lot here, kind of has like an ancient Aztec feel or something like that. I don't know if that makes sense. But this is a very prominent, dominant, like dark wood that really sticks out. It's almost like a watchtower kind of thing, because you can look through there. And yeah, so I just think this looks really cool. I'm really proud of this part, especially. Here I kind of wanted to do something like kind of like a pattern or shape or something with the glass. Almost give it like a church or a cathedral kind of effect. What do you call it? Like a mosaic, glass mosaic thing. I think it looks really cool. It contrasts really well with the rest of the wall. It gives it a little bit of color, because otherwise this wall would look really bland and kind of boring. But we actually have some color. Obviously this wall is nowhere near finished, just to be clear, in case I was giving that impression. Pretty much any of these builds that I've shown you haven't really fully finished. There's a lot to work on. is another thing. Is like it's not bad to build with a lot of bland colors if you also incorporate little like inklings of color that stands out every now, like in certain places. There's more color over there as well, as you can see. And that thing as well, another thing as well is that, as you can see, I've used a lot of different materials and blocks in this wall, especially. Like, I can count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 or 7 different materials here. Because, I don't know, I just like to, I think color is another good way, because when you think about Minecraft, it's very limited in terms of design, because you don't have high resolution, like, because it's blocks, it's big blocks, you're building with Lego, essentially, so you don't have a lot of room for little detail, right? So color is a very good way to add depth and add, shape to things and all that. If you look at grass, for example, grass is very bland. It's very repetitive. So we obviously don't want to have our buildings be repetitive. So you want to add a lot of different materials, different like corners and textures and different things. But that doesn't mean that you should just willy-nilly put different materials everywhere. So as you can see, I have a lot of different stripes going along the wall here. I have sideways stripes, I have upward stripes going that way, another sideways stripe, kind of stone brick sideways. I also have that like stone. Like if this whole thing here was made out of stone brick, it would look more boring. To break up, like to break that pattern of repetitiveness, I added normal stone here, right? Isn't that kind of nice? Like you have stone bricks here, and then this little pocket of just normal stone, and then we continue with more stone bricks below that. It's like a stripe within a stripe, if that makes sense. Because this whole block here is a stripe, like one big stripe, but then within that stripe there's multiple other stripes, like this wood plank stripe. But even within that there's another stripe, because there's this level and that level, right? There's this 2 block high stripe, and then this 1 block high stripe below that, and then there's more stripes with it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm just trying to like really get into the philosophy of depth and color and all that stuff, and breaking up the patterns and repetitiveness. Another bridge design here, which I think is pretty cute. Not much to say about it. Yeah, I feel like this is a silly video to explain things in, because most people are probably, I don't know, not gonna pay much attention to it, because they're just trying to relax, or they're trying to sleep, or whatever the hell you guys are trying to do there. So yeah, that's my wall. Again, I like to do big entrances, so this is super random, but just trying random stuff. Kind of barbaric as well. I think barbarian styles are very cool to emulate. Just random platforms here, and again, here's another corner that I wanted to not look like a corner, but more like an interesting area, rather. Like this is the least, like this is the furthest thing from a sharp corner, Not only are we rounding it up with all this stuff, we're also adding a little bit of a wave effect to it by doing this. You know, I think that's super cool. And under the waves, you expose wood. I don't know. I just think this looks super cool from this perspective. It's just a really nice area in terms of design. Yeah, that's that. That's not actually mine. Someone else built that. I think this area is pretty cool as well. More level design. I just can't get enough of levels, man. So yeah, there's a little platform and another platform on top of that platform and then another platform on top of that platform and just platform after platform. We just can't get enough of it, guys. I really like how this like, it looks cool from this perspective, but it also looks cool from this perspective. I like double-sided things a lot. So yeah, there's also interior stuff here as well. I think this is literally gonna end up being like a 2-hour video, but I don't really mind that. I think longer ASMR videos are actually often better. I myself tend to need at least like 20 or 30 minutes from my or ASMR videos to be able to fall asleep to them. But I tend to often put like an hour-long video. Yeah, so from the other side, obviously, this wall, I think, again, man, I just can't get enough of this stuff. More about depth. So, again, this like wavy wood thing going on here, so it goes like this, and then goes down, and then it goes up, and then it goes down. I like to add waves to otherwise kind of static things. And I also like the idea of something sort of covering. I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like that stone stuff is under and behind this wood, and it feels like, I don't know, it feels like you could peel this wood off and then it would reveal the rest of the stone. But there's something really satisfying about how it covers it up, you know. I think this corner here is pretty cool as well. Another really good example of breaking up corners into not looking sharp, because again, we have a shit ton of depth here. Oh god, I just have this almost childlike excitement about talking about this, because like I said before, this stuff really tickles my tummy, man. Like, this really gets me excited because I love design so much, and I love to play with depth, and it's just so cool. Like, there's this very sharp thing sticking out here, but then the rest of it is like going inside. Like, this thing is sort of pushing inwards rather than outwards, which this is doing, and then this stuff is coming outwards. It's like a little lip coming out. Oh man, I so love it. I love it so much. Like, instead of doing a corner, it's just sharp like this. Right? This looks so stupid. This looks so boring. This looks so, I don't know. It like hurts my eyes. It's like poking into my eye, basically. But this is so, I don't know, satisfying to me when there's different levels to it. But yeah, okay, so let's go to my next design. I think I'm done with the wall. This one, I actually don't know if I can immediately locate, but this one is a castle, so I think it's pretty cool thing as well. For me, this was kind of a fun project. I think I started building it on live stream. I googled images of castles, and I found this really cool image, and I sort of took strong inspiration from it. I think that's also another good tip if you don't really have any ideas for what to build, then literally just Google something that seems like a cool theme to you. Like I googled like a medieval castle or something like that. Or yeah, basically that's what I did. And so I found a picture and I started sort of trying to model it. I wasn't trying to copy it one by one. I just sort of like to take idea of it. So this is my castle. It's very small and modest, but I think it's very cute. Again, playing with a lot of different levels. Like this goes up, this goes down. You know, just cool stuff. If you want to go down here, there's a little lake that I like to decorate a lot. Little monuments sticking out. Yeah, so little bridge, little inside area here that goes. I think this is really cool because it's under like the rest of the castle. Like this is all above you, sort of hanging over you, but it's being supported by pillars, and there's just something really cool about stuff hanging over you, especially because this is like made out of dirt, so it's sort of natural, but yet it's integrated with human built stuff. I really like the idea of mixing human and nature. It's almost like a cyborg. You know how cyborg is half human and half robot. So that's kind of the idea there. So yeah. Okay. So the idea of the castle was that it has 4 corners, and they each has like a different kind of tower sticking out. So the first corner is kind of it's kind of simplistic. It's sort of a generic castle like wall that you could expect to see in different real life castles. This other one is a little bit more different. It kind of, to me, for some reason, this feels a little bit Chinese, like some sort of Chinese architecture. I'm not sure why, but it just gives me that vibe. The same thing on the back one, but that one goes higher. So it's almost like an upgraded version of this. I guess you could imagine like a video game where you have a castle, and every time you upgrade it, it sort of becomes more advanced. And that's kind of what's happening here. It's like, this is like level 1. When you upgrade to level 2, you get this. You upgrade to level 3, you get this. And then you upgrade to level 4, and you have this really cool thing over here. And it's basically maxed out. And yeah, so that's that. I like the idea of this gradient of going from spruce to, is this acacia? No, it's jungle stairs, my bad. So spruce, acacia, and then oak, I believe, yeah. So I thought that was a really nice gradient, so I wanted to use that in my towers. So it starts with spruce, and then it kind of does a little bit of acacia, and then mixes it with a little bit of spruce, then more acacia, and then oak. So yeah, I wanted to use that gradient a lot in this castle. I really like this house here because it's sort of floating in the air. We go in here, it's pretty simplest. There's no really decoration inside here. A lot of the times I kind of forget to do indoors decoration because I just kind of don't bother with it, I oftentimes just finish the outside and I'm like, okay, I'm done here. So yeah, these towers you can climb up and stuff, and it's pretty cool. There's balconies on the side. Oh, I want to actually go back to the balcony in a second because there's some nice design stuff there as well. I really like this idea of space. I really like that you can look up there and there's a lot of open space there. It gives this very grand feeling for this interior. But yeah, let's go back to this. So here's another trick with depth, obviously. So instead of a flat wall, I've done this balcony, obviously, that comes out. But not only does it just go back into the wall and then stay flat, it goes inwards, it goes inside, and it gives another cool level of depth. And yeah, so that's just another, maybe if you want to use this idea in your own builds, then go ahead. Yeah, so that's my castle. I think one thing this is kind of a pet peeve of mine, but I really hate it when there's sort of dirt blocks here. It doesn't really make sense to me. Like, I'd rather do this because that makes more sense. Because when you think about how this would have been built by humans, all of this stone would probably go inside this ground. Like, it would technically be like going inside there, but you don't really see it. Obviously, you don't have to build it. If you can't see it, then there's no purpose in building it there. But the idea is, if there's like freaking dirt here, it doesn't really make sense, you know? Like what? Like, wouldn't the castle crumble and like fall if this was not being supported by stone, but rather freaking dirt? So yeah, didn't make sense. More depth tricks here, just protruding out of the wall a little bit, or extruding. I don't know if protruding is even the right word. I feel like I keep using it, but it's probably wrong. But yeah, okay, that's my castle. What else do we got? So I have one more build to show, or do I? Yes. Wait, let me think about it. I think I only have one more. Okay, I'm gonna speedrun it a little bit. I also built this, you know, out of the spawn. This like cool pathway comes out. I just wanted to make it kind of wide, so it doesn't feel like it's sort of like a little wimp of a road. I wanted it to feel like a big road, and I wanted this to feel like a big central area that you can go to multiple different directions from. So yeah, you can go that way, you can go this way. Yeah, so I built this path as well. It goes along here. Yep, so we go here, here, here. I think someone else actually built this one. This bridge here. But yeah, we keep going this direction. Actually, this path was actually not built by me. I don't know why I said it was by me. Someone else built it, but then I sort of enhanced it. I made it a little bit better, and I put some more effort into it. But overall, I really appreciate the effort put into it. Okay, so this one is going to be a cemetery, which is kind of in a weird place because you might not even notice it. Like, if you happen to look left from here, you might notice that there's some stuff going around there, but you might totally miss it. You might just keep running this way and not notice and just keep going along the path. But if you happen to turn left here, you'll notice a weird bridge and then a lot of cemetery stuff. There's not really anything here, but I probably will write down some certain community related losses. Not necessarily like real life stuff, but like if something happened, like maybe, well, like for example, if someone had like a really beloved cat in the game, like a pet in Minecraft, and they happened to die, then we might make like a sign for it, or yeah, so something like that. Or like as a joke, if like my YouTube channel dies, then I could put a sign here mentioning it. But yeah, anyway, so there's a lot of these what do you call them actually, gravestones that I've put all over the place. Lanterns, I think, are a very cute addition to it as well. But the thing, okay, this is kind of messed up because these are like spears that have heads stuck to them, and there's like blood around it. It's a little bit messed up, but I like to think that a bunch of barbarians or some sort of Aztec Mayans came here and just caused havoc, and then they built this giant like temple here. That actually like the idea here was that there was this stone was naturally generated right here. So I was like, it would be cool to build like a temple into this stone, and then I could make some sort of a secret wall that opens up from this stone with the redstone, and it's kind of like a secret entrance. Maybe you have to like do a weird like secret what do you call it, like a lever combination to open the door. So it's like these Mayans came here and built some really weird ancient stuff, and it's just been sitting here for like thousands of years, not visited by anyone, and it's being overtaken by vegetation, and like nature is essentially growing over it and covering it in a way. It's not really finished at all. It's just, I don't know. There's gonna be this like kind of barbarian wall around it that I haven't fully finished yet. There's also like this cool water temple that I made. Not much going on in here, but I kind of like the idea that the water is falling through the ceiling. But yeah, this is pretty nice. Goes into the water. I like that idea. Yeah, so I use jungle because I'm thinking like, okay, this is sort of like built by jungle people, like really advanced jungle people who have a very good grasp on building and architecture. I don't even know how to pronounce that word, man. But yeah, they are obsessed with like different symbols and like shapes and like symbolism and stuff like that. I think this is kind of a cool like symbol kind of thing going on here. I don't know. It's like a carving kind of thing. Like they've carved something into this wall, and there's this cool little I don't even know what to call it, but like thing coming out of it. Yeah, so that's that. Is that my final build? I mean, basically, yes, I believe. That is my, that was my cemetery. I think I haven't built anything at the end of this. Let's actually go back to spawn. Oh, I just want to mention, I absolutely love the spawn, like, beginning part. Like, this whole thing with the circular. Oh god, I don't know why, but I just love this so much. Like, the diamond block in the middle, it really pops so strongly. And it has a really good contrast with the green of the leaves. And I feel like even the wood, the stripped logs, the colors really work together so well in this area that I just can't like even understand or grasp how awesome it is to me. And yeah, so I really love this area. I also like how the top of it is like this dominant dark color, and yeah, there's a nice contrast between up and below, and then the circular shapes, and everything here is really interesting to me. Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so the last thing I wanted to show isn't really too crazy or interesting, to be fair. It's mostly just this path. That's basically the final thing I wanted to show. A little bridge thing going on here. It's kind of weird, but I think it makes paths interesting when every now and then there's like an interesting monument or bridge or like different kind of case, I like making things inconsistent. So rather than just making, like for example, this guy made a very straight staircase here. This is not made by me, but he made a very straight staircase, and when you look at it, it's super repetitive, right? Like, it just repeats a lot, right? And I'm not saying that it's bad. I actually think it's a pretty good bridge because, you know, he at least uses like this material and this material, so it breaks up the pattern. And also he has like the glowstone in the middle that kind of gives it a little spice. And the walls are made out of a different material, so it stands out as well. So it's not a bad bridge, but compared to this, it has a different feel to it because I kind of want it to almost feel like somebody cut down like pieces of a tree and then just like laid them down here, but they didn't like try to lay them down perfectly aligned. It kind of just, you know, hugs the edges of the natural generation. So this is how the wall was basically naturally right here and here. Or actually, to be fair, I don't think it was like this naturally, but it kind of looks natural, you know? That's how I imagine it. So, like, the edges are sort of wavy, like they don't really have consistency or any kind of sense to it. So, you know, the wood logs also are kind of random. They go like this, and this, the edge goes like this. It doesn't make much sense, but I think it looks really cool. I'm just tracing along the edge of the wood. Maybe Minecraft tracing would be a fun video to do. I don't know if that would give anyone any kind of triggers, like going along certain edges of I don't know, tell me if anyone is like slightly triggered by this. Like triggered in a good way, like an ASMR trigger. Like going along the edge of this chest here. Maybe some people actually find this nice. I'm not really sure, but I'll consider doing it. Okay, anyway, so I really like this bridge because it has this stripe effect and all that. Okay, we keep going, we keep moving. A little bridge again. We keep moving. So again, paths become interesting when there's a lot of stuff that makes it not repetitive. So here's a tunnel. Again, makes the path more interesting. Bam, we're just running, we're speeding through. Another bridge. Very simple bridge, but kind of a cool design, I think. I feel like every bridge I make is so different from each other. It's kind of funny, but like this little singular stripe going along diagonally here with a little red dot in the middle just to give it some spice, give it some color. And then slabs, I believe, on this, like another line of slabs. And instead of using slabs again for the edge, I have used trapdoors to give it, you know, a different texture, but also give it depth from the side view, because if you look here, it has a lot more depth, obviously. Okay, we keep going here. This one is pretty interesting too, so this is still the same path, it just keeps going. But I wanted to make this part interesting, this staircase here. Just more cool ideas here. Nothing too crazy, but it's simple, cute, and nice. A lot of my designs are very compact because I like the idea of filling, like, I guess, filling a lot of stuff in small space. I think that's really fun to do. So it's what I tend to do a lot. A little square area here, with color and shapes and stuff. So compact stuff. I don't know why, but it's like fun for me. I guess the main reason I do things in a compact way is because I don't like to spend like 12 hours a day playing Minecraft, you know. I have a life I have other responsibilities, I have work to do, I have other like dreams to follow, so I don't want to spend like incredible amounts of my life just building some giant castles and other huge buildings whereas like I can have the same amount of fun building something small and simple but still very cool that I can like feel proud about and really enjoy making, because I feel like building in Minecraft is very therapeutical. Whenever I'm feeling down, I kind of like to jump on Minecraft and have some fun with building and tickle my creative side, have fun as a creator of things. So another bridge that isn't really necessarily, I mean, I guess it is a bridge, but it's sort of it's touching the ground, so that's the main reason why I don't know if I can call it a bridge. It's more like a road that's stuck into the water. So yeah, I don't know, again, like, when it comes to fencing, if you just keep repeating the same fencing pattern, it becomes boring. So I like to make things in sections. There's a little, what do you call this, like god damn it, like a post, and then the fence starts from the edge of the post, it keeps going along, and then boom, we have another section of the bridge. So this is like one part of the bridge, this is like curved part, and then there's the straight part that is divided into, this area that is like signified by these posts, and then they're connected with a actual fence instead of trapdoors. So again, this is breaking up the repetitiveness of the design. And yeah, and also instead of sideways blocks here, we have forward stripes, again to break up the repetitiveness. Yeah, so that's another philosophy. Again, I just want to make this clear, like, building things in sections is a great way to break up the repetitiveness. I know I keep repeating the same terms here over and over, and I hope that it doesn't bother you. I just think repetition is a good way to make someone understand a concept. So yeah, so it's good to think of things in, like, I don't know if you've ever heard of modular design in video games, but modular design is basically when you have certain pieces that stick together, like, that fit together. Like, if you think about video games that have like a level editor, and the pieces in the level are almost like how should I say, like, almost like Hot Wheels, like racing kits, like, those Hot Wheels, like how should I say, like roads or whatever, they like curve around in the air, and when you send a car, they just do these crazy, like, upside down, like, volleys and stuff. I don't know how to explain it, but I'll put pictures on the screen so you'll understand. So you know how those pieces like fit together, like the edges of the pieces are designed to be able to like stick together with the other pieces, and I guess that's what you could call that modular design, because you have a certain set of pieces that all will fit together basically, and you can combine them in different ways. And you could say that this is essentially modular design. Like, this is one piece and this is another piece, and because I've designed it in a way that this piece fits well with this piece, I can essentially use that idea over and over here. As you might see, this curve that happens here actually repeats here, but upside down. So it, like, instead of, going that way, it goes this way. And we have a diagonal honestly, I started rambling now, so I'm not gonna go any deeper into that. And actually, I think that is the end of the video because it doesn't really go anywhere. And I've pretty much showed you everything I've wanted to. Yeah, I really don't know how to improve my public speaking or ability to explain things. I kind of wish I could get better at it, but I feel like no matter how much I do it, I'm still just as stupid and not able to articulate certain things as well as I wish I could. But it's all good. Again, if you want to play on this Minecraft server, you just have to subscribe to my Twitch channel just once. Like 1 month is enough. And after you've done that, you have to join the server and type Twitch sync into the chat. And then it'll tell you to click on this, and it'll verify whether or not you are actually subscribed to my Twitch. And that if you are, it will give you permanent access to play on this server. So that's that. Those were all my builds that I have created on this server as far as I can remember. It's totally possible that there are 1 or 2 other ones that I just completely forgot. But I guess they wouldn't be important enough anyway to include in this, so it's fine. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to, you can give me some feedback in the comments about my designs. I'm not sure I really care that much. I don't think I would change anything, even if people said that they didn't like them too much. I personally really like my designs, and I'm pretty proud of them, so, you know, as long as the things you do in life are things that you really enjoy, then, you know, have fun, you know, do whatever the hell you want, man. Hold on a second. I'm just thinking, I can't remember if I built this bridge. I literally cannot remember. I don't think I did. Wait, did I? Hold on a second. Wait, what happened? Oh god. I accidentally removed all my items. I forgot. Okay, so I don't think this was made by me. Okay, cool. Anyway, I was gonna point out that this wall was actually built by me because the guy who built this house and that floating tower, or the floating island, his wall was super repetitive and boring. I think it looked something like this actually. Like, it was basically this, but just very straight, very repetitive, and it just looked like, I don't know, I didn't really like it too much, and because it's close to the spawn, it's kind of like giving people first impressions when they walk past it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it look nicer. So I tried to, again, break up repetition. I made it wavy on the top instead of being just entirely straight. I made it wavy. I added different materials, different different styles of blocks, and, you know, walls sticking out, and just little sections of trapdoors, and yeah, what do you call these, stairs on the bottom as well. And I think this looks a lot better than what it looked like before. Obviously I can't show you what it looked like before, but just take my word for it. I think this is a little bit more random and exciting than what it was before. Just, yeah, that's all. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't remember if I made this arc or arch or whatever. I don't think I did. Okay guys, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments how you felt about this video, if you enjoyed it. Feel free to give me any ideas or requests for what you want me to do on this channel. Any other ASMR content. If you want me to do any Rocket League related ASMR, I'm definitely down to do that as well. I feel like that would be a good, I don't know, I just feel like people would, I don't know, what I'm trying to say is I think I would get a shit ton of views with those. That's all. I think I would get a lot of views with appreciate you guys. I'm gonna see you guys in the next ASMR.